Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are back for season 10 of IRC. We are back with Tier 1, the pinnacle of IRC. We've already had Tier 2 and Tier 3 races live today in the afternoon and yesterday night. So if you haven't checked it out, seen that, check it out after the stream. But yeah, let's quickly just introduce everyone. I'm Swagger here. I'm joined by Shock, and Deepak is going to be the streamer for tonight. So, Shock, let's quickly go through the track guide.
Yeah, so welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit. We will be having the first Tier 1 race for the Indian racing community. Over here, we have three DRS straights, one after turn 15 for the start lane, and one between 3 and 4, and the other between turns 10 and 11. Turn 4 being one of the best overtaking opportunities on this track. And as we get ready to see the fastest drivers in all of India compete right now for the Tier 1 Indie Racing Community race.
All right, let's have a look at the hot lap of what the drivers are going to be facing today.
Let's go for a hot lap of the Sakir circuit, rounding the final corner now, thundering down the main straight. DRS open as we cross the line and start the lap. DRS open, dump ERS, all that you can to extract all the top speed that you can. Brake at the beginning of the curb at the left hand side for turn 1. Important traction zone through turns 2 and 3. Try not to lose the rear end and lose too much time as we come to another DRS section here. An important overtaking zone where Hamilton and Verstappen collided. As we go in through turn 4, don't run too wide here as we set ourselves up for the end of sector 1, curving through the S's. Turn 7 and 8 now. Important to get the car rotated well through here. Important traction zone coming out of turn 8, and now we come to a difficult braking zone, the double left-hander of turns 9 and 10. Important to brake as in a straight line as possible. Get the car turned in. DRS open once again down the back straight. As he parts under the DHL board, another important braking zone here and an important overtaking point as well as we come into turn 11. Turn 12 is a long looping left-hander as the Alfa Romeo encounters a snap of oversteer coming through turn 13, and coming now to turn 14, the end of sector 2. Sector 3 begins. Run as wide as possible as we head down a little straight, possibly the final overtaking point before the lap ends. Get the car turned in for the final corner. A short burst to the line. DRS detection point once again, and that is a lap of Bahrain.
All right, so we are live with qualifying for the first race of the season. These Tier 1 drivers ready to give it a shot at the Bahrain International Circuit. We can see a few cars going out in the background, and we are on board the Alpine currently, and switching it over to you, Swagger, for the onboard.
Deepak, very quickly, there's still the menu option which is on screen. Can we remove that, please?
Just getting the telemetry sorted.
Okay. But yeah, Tier 1, the fastest drivers in IRC are, going to be going for an all-out quali right now. And again, it's the most stacked, out of every single tier out there. No disrespect to any other tiers, but yeah, this is going to be the fastest guys from IRC taking on, just putting in some fast lap times during quali. Let's hope for that at least, and hopefully a very clean race after that as well. And a lot of people on track right now, just a few of them on hards, mediums as well, to just check out if everything is working fine. And then we'll have, obviously towards the end of the quali, we'll see some fast laps coming in.
Yeah, definitely. As we see the Ferrari coming to the end of his first out lap of SSJ and SSJ Assassin, as he goes down the last turn, ready to start off his onboard lap. And he's sending it, and Swagger, over to you for the onboard.
Alright, so SSJ is the first person out there to, I think, set a lap right now. At least we are on board him. And taking the first corner pretty well, hitting the apex perfectly over there, going down to turn 2 and turn 3, touching the curb here, and he spins. I was about to say, touching the curb there is pretty, it's pretty bad. And yeah, it's like, because if you don't have a good right height, you're bound to spin. So yeah, unfortunate for SSJ right there, just spun out, and we are on board with Babaji right now, who is on a hot lap, and he also spins. What's going on? It's not even the commentator's curse, it's just the streamer curse. As soon as Deepak just, goes on somebody, they just somehow spin. So very weird and tricky conditions, of course, for the starting of the quali. The track will, soon ramp up a little bit, and hopefully, the guys also, the rust is gone and they can put in some fast laps in. So on board with the Red Bull right now, I just hope he doesn't really, spin out. Of course, he's not on a hot lap. I don't think. We just saw him coming out of the pits, or maybe, we've changed in between. I'm not really sure what's happened there. But yeah, we've already seen 2 spins, and there's one more yellow flag in sector 2. So someone else is also spinning out. So these drivers right now, of course, they are on the limit and having a few spins here and there in quali. Let's hope that doesn't happen in the race.
Yeah, definitely. We just saw Ferrari spinning and the Alpine right after spinning. So as Logesh comes to set his first lap, we'll see the timing he sets. He set the fastest second sector, and he goes top of the table with a 128.487. And the horse of Aradhya Gupta just completely defeating him, with SSG consider proper lap time, obviously because of the spin. And same with Babaji. As we now go on board, the horse of Shoshan for his lap, as he turns into turn 1, keeping the line good, and all the way into going down all the way towards turn 4, gets that DRS wing open in time as he heads towards the braking zone. Hopefully he doesn't spin. Hopefully I don't jinx him, because we've seen a lot of spins today. What's your opinion on that, Saga?
Yeah, just as I said, it's been a while since we've had a Tier 1 race, so a lot of people are just rusty and they gotta get back to, racing, and these guys are in Tier 1 for a reason. So I'm pretty sure that these guys will be able to, get back, and of course, 12 minutes left in the quali still, so a lot of time for these guys to, get that position back and, put in some decent laps. And right here we can see that I think, there was Shawshank taking a beautiful slipstream from Aradhya, and a bit of teamwork going on between the two horses. And of course, we have had just the amount of gap that these guys have, the top 3, it's not even a tenth between all of them. So very, very close fighting going on over here. And yeah, a lot of people from the Tier 1, even from the last year, the last season that we've had, we can see Aradhya, SSJ, Real ST, and a lot of, just recurring names back at over here. And Shawshank, a P5, only 2 tenths away from his teammates. So not a bad showing from on his end as well.
A quick lap being set by the Ferrari of Pre the Pro. Very well done from him. And now we go on to Eitzel in the Williams. Williams was the Constructors Champion for the last season of IRC. And hopefully they want to continue that in coming into Season X. And now we hop on board the McLaren of Anirudh, and now on Tarnished. So Tarnished is on a outlap currently, so he would like to be near that top position in qualifying, so he has a better chance coming into the race. Yeah.
So we did see in the hot lap that Moto does have this pace. He did a 127.7, and right now he's done a 128.7 on medium. So when he switches on to the softs, he's going to be a proper contender for pole position as well. So of course, early days for the quali right now. So yeah, we just have to see what's going to happen. And again, we had this in Tier 2 as well, where Heisenberg named himself Hasenberg, and in Tier 1 we have 8 Williams. So yeah, it's like 8 cylinders naming himself 8 Williams because he's in the Williams right now. So a nice bit of just a name change, and yeah, that's pretty decent. But yeah, we still have quite a few people on track, and everyone's trying to put in lap times, trying to better the lap times. And Aradhya right now, I won't say on a comfortable pole because it's only 4 thousandths between him and Pre the Pro. And these guys are super quick. So a few people still have to put in their lap times. It's going to get super interesting towards the end of this quali to see where they end up.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, Haas doesn't have that same curse that they had in the Tier 2 race, where the drivers got an amazing quali, but the race wasn't the best for them. Hopefully, we can see Aradhya Gupta and Shoshank, who are currently P1 and P5, perform in the race, not only in qualifying. And now we are on board Ashray as he plans to set his first lap. As he goes down, catches a bit of curb there, as he sends it down all the way into turn 10, holding the car steady, and takes it to the beautiful line through turn 11, and keeps it steady through the curb and on the curve. Now he'll have to brake. He goes all the way down to 4th gear for the turn as he comes to finish his lap, and he's trying to chase down that pole position. He's on the way down to the final turn 15 as he brakes. How low will he go? He stays at turn 4 at gear 4, and he needs to ramp that up as he goes to cross the line, and he sets a only P11 for Ashray with a 129.179 as Logesh is about to cross the line for his next lap. And will he be faster? And does he improve?
He's starting his hot lap.
Starting this hot lap, yes. And in the background, we saw the Tanish setting the fastest lap right there. So Tanish has taken the fastest lap off of Aradhya and is on provisional pole right now with 8 minutes and 30 seconds left. And one more thing to keep in mind is that we have said that Ashray set only a 129.1. That's the kind of difference that these tier 1 boys have over the other tiers, because they are almost a second faster than the other tiers. And a 129.1 was easily in the top 5 for tier 2. So these guys, again, putting in this is literally the best of the best right here, and we're gonna have an amazing race. And let's just hope that, as you were saying, the Haas doesn't really have any issues like we had in tier 2. And right now, it's Tanish in first, whereas Black Sheep is P15, his teammate. And talking about WCC as well, of course, these guys have to work as a team. And we saw that Haas is already working as a team. And while I'm talking about that, Helium sets a 128.1, and that's the lap time to beat, and 2/10 away from Tanish. So that's an amazing lap by Helium right there in that Mercedes of his. So Logesh coming to the penultimate corner now, and through the final corner, he's coming towards the the finish line, and he puts that car in P3. So not too bad at all. Logesh goes and puts that Red Bull in P3. Tanish also amazing pace, and while I'm talking about that, 3 sets a 128 on the dot and takes the provisional pole from Helium right now. So very interesting quality just in the first part of the quality.
Yeah, definitely. Mercedes are very strong contenders for the Constructors' Championship this year, and seeing Helium on his first run going all the way to P1, but now it's been beaten by the Ferrari of Pre the Pro. So it's actually very interesting. Oh, and Aradhya Gupta, he just sets the fastest lap, going 127. The first car into the 127. Track evolution is really showing in Bahrain, as over time the cars are starting to go faster, set by lap time, and we are all on board with Moto as he goes down into the last corner, and he's pressing it all the way. What lap time is he gonna set as we see him cross the line in P? And Moto goes to pole. All the way 127.718. Moto Aradhya just setting a 127, and Moto literally told him to hold his beer because no one else is going to be on pole other than Moto. And we see a spin by Gupta, and he's still to set a good lap time, and looking after that spin, it's not going to be that loud for sure.
Indeed, a lot of cars just losing their rear and spinning out. It could be a setup issue, or maybe just not been playing the game for a long time. But yeah, we've already seen around 3 or 4 spins till now, and what a lap by Moto. I was telling you about this earlier, that it's not just disregard him, because he does have a lot of pace, and we saw that in the fastest lap that we just saw, the hot lap, and he is literally faster than the hot lap itself. So he sets a 1:27.718, which is an amazing lap by him. But again, these guys are in T1 for a reason, so we could still see someone of taking pole off of Moto. It's a very tall ask, but yeah, I just hope that does happen, because right now the gap between the top 5 is very close, and it's only 5 tenths between them. And yeah, let's just hope we have a actual battle towards the end of the quali, and we see some changes in lap times as well.
Yeah, and one driver I'm curious to see is what SD has to put out, because he was the last season's champion, and currently he's in P6, so we're still seeing if he improves. The rookie this year, Anirudh, has just set his first lap time. He took a while before setting his first lap time. He is currently in 13, and we're still waiting on another driver to see if they can beat. We hop on board SSJ as he's trying to set a lap. He's on his out lap currently, and he goes wide to give way for another driver, I suppose. No, he's just gone wide. Yeah, so anyway, we hope to see a good race later on with amazing drivers like Moto, Free the Pro, Helium,
Can we go on board of the McLaren that is creating all the yellow flags here? An interesting strategy from Moto and quite a few drivers who have already used the medium stint here, because you only get 2 set of mediums and they have kind of used it for 2 laps here. So I'm not sure if they can, use it in case of, let's say, an early safety car when they just have to, when they have a chance to just dump their hards.
Indeed, because we saw 2 safety cars in the last tier in the afternoon, so it's going to be interesting to see what these guys, are up to in the race, because of course we didn't really expect a safety car in tier 2 after we saw the performance in tier 3. So, but we still had to, 1 extra safety car. So, is tier 1 gonna have more safety cars than tier 2 and 3? We'll just have to wait and find out. And again, it's like these guys have set pretty decent lap times. Moto and Logesh is 1st and 7th for them, and again, a lot of people have better races than qualifying itself. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of runs these guys get into turn 1.
Yeah, definitely. As we are on board SSJ, as he's on his out lap, and he's actually on his hot lap right now, as he goes on the difficult corner of turn 10. Was there a bit of understeer there? I'm not too sure, but he's going down all the way, and he abandons the lap after that snap of oversteer. And we hop on board Danish in the Aston Martin, who's P5 and is a contender for pole right now. Swagger, would you like to take over on the onboard?
Yeah, let's just say that Aston Martin has a lovely looking livery as of now. The green and black looks perfect. And yeah, getting back to Tanish, who actually was on provisional pole at one point, going through turn 11 now and keeping it pretty clean from the, this camera angle that we're seeing. Goes close to the curb, do not touch the curb because that will send you spinning and looking the other way. Takes the next turn as well, pretty decent, hits the apex, goes onto the curb, and these curves you can ride, so that shouldn't be an issue. Going to the penultimate lap now, the slower cars are giving him way. Thankfully, he doesn't get impeded by anyone. Coming to the last and final turn, keeps it pretty clean, out on the last straight over here, and he sets a pretty decent lap. It's a P4, does improve on his lap, but that's only good for P4.
Yeah, and we currently have the race leader, the qualifying leader currently, Moto, about to go on his hot lap, his last lap of the session. If we can, and we are currently on board Arad here, who is challenging Moto for that spot to pole. And hold it, if the further ahead you are, the better chance you have of winning the race. So let's see if Arad can pull a lap that's better than Moto. Obviously, it's because of track evolution, this should be the best lap they get, as he holds it through that corner. Very well done by the driver, as the driver ahead of him gives him way to go straight down the straight all the way into the later part of Sector 2.
Okay, before continuing, Deepak, can we quickly have the timing screen on the screen as well? Because we don't have that on the top right, and so that we can see the sector times as well. And while I'm talking about that, Aradhya sets the purple second sector, so he's only 2 tenths off of Moto's lap time. So this is gonna get super close towards the end. Does keep it pretty clean, and going towards the line now, and will he be able to beat a 127.7? He does not. He does improve by a 127.9 to 1, but that's not enough for him. So on board Pre the Pro now, who also has a very good chance. Both of these drivers are on controller as well, so fair play to these guys. And yeah, these guys are setting pretty decent lap times. Again, you can see on the bottom right that he has set the purple second sector maybe for himself. So yeah, we'll have to see how he fares in the final sector. Can he get the Ferrari? At least in the IRC world, can he get a pole for Ferrari and make it into a win? And no, he can't. That's a very good lap by him as well, but loses out by around 700ths of a second to Moto. So to be honest, Moto doesn't really even have to put a lap in, because he has pretty much solidified his pole over here. Helium goes 5th fastest for the Mercedes, and yeah, pretty decent lap by him as well. And I don't think Moto is on the lap.
Also, a good lap set by SD, the real SD, going to P3 and getting a lap time better than Aradhya Gupta, which is well done from the current championship, like the former championship leader, as Moto retires from the session.
Indeed, of course. SD has the kind of pace to get a WDC. We saw that last season, and he's back on it again. P3, a pretty decent starting position, because if you're on the first 2 rows, you have a decent chance of actually ending up first. So yeah, these guys are gonna just finish their lap times in, and will soon be in going into the race as well.
Yeah, we're ready for the first race of the Indian racing community. I know all of our fans for the server are very excited to see the fastest drivers in India go out for their first ever race in Season X. And hopefully the chat can hype up this first race of the season. Hopefully the drivers can provide an entertaining and interesting race to watch.
So Moto takes pole for the first race of the season for Tier 1, and Pre the Pro second, SD third, Aradhya, Helium, Tanish, Logesh, Akash, Anirudh, and Black Sheep finishing up the top 10. Only 8 tenths between the first and the guy in 10th. Then we have SSJ, Simply, Banat, Shawshank, 8th still, Extreme, Couple Ace, and the others for who finish up the whole grid. And we have a full 20-player grid as well, so it's going to be interesting in the race to see where these guys end up and what kind of lap times these guys go for, what kind of strategy they go for, because we saw that in the morning, because of the safety car, a lot of people gained an advantage over the rest by going on hards, having a perfect safety car for their pit stop, and yeah, making the best out of it.
Yeah, also for the race, we have ABD joining us in the commentary box. So, ABD, if you want to say hi and your thoughts of qualifying.
Yeah, it was definitely very interesting quali there. This basically decides which driver stands on where, because we have seen quite a few social races where, there was a bit domination from Helium and Pre the Pro, but well, this is the platform where you have to perform. Pressure is on you and the focus is on you, and this is where it all counts. So great stuff from Moto there. He did not improve on his last lap, and I'm guessing he would have improved by a 10th at least. But nonetheless, the lap time that he has set is just outstanding there. It's actually equivalent to what the Hotlap that we had shown. So that just shows how fast these guys are.
Will it be Red Bull? Will it be Mercedes or Ferrari? Or would it be Williams or Haas? We are yet to see, as the first race of the Indian racing community will get underway really soon as we wait for the drivers to get ready. for this fantastic race.
And there's around 34 people watching the stream. Do let us know in the live chat who you guys think is going to win and what is your predictions for the first race of the season. We are super excited. It's only 25 seconds more for this race to start, and oh boys, sure is going to be a good one. The fastest people of IRC in Tier 1 going for just one thing, which is the race win, WDC as well as WCC.
Yeah, will they start on mediums or hards? That's something we're going to find out very shortly as the race starts in 5 seconds. And what do you think people would go for, mediums or hards to start?
Well, they have to start with mediums, I believe, but I can definitely see Moto starting on hards there, and Pre the Pro is on mediums, and it's already lights off and away we go. Ash has left the session. Moto gets a great start. Radhya gets the real SD there. He has got the inside, so he can definitely keep the position. Pre the Pro goes down the inside. He gets Moto is on hards and already 0.2 seconds away from him. Radhya getting the tire advantage. Pre the Pro getting the tire advantage. And we have a yellow flag. There is Itzel who's gone down the way. And Moto is right behind Pre the Pro. The cold tires are not really working out for him. But we can definitely see the grip on those mediums going fast. Radhya is again just behind Moto there. Real SC is doing well enough to keep on Radhya, whereas we can see Moto is losing time on Pre the Pro there.
Yeah, definitely. The medium runners going to have amazing pace coming into this race. Can we switch on board to Radhya Gupta, as he is 0.1 second behind Moto?
Although we go, Extreme has spun there. It's just down the exit of it. I hope there was no contact, but not have telemetry, or these guys have not enabled it. However, Moto is already 1.2 seconds down, and Tanish has dropped down to P15 there. I'm not sure what happened with them, and for some reason we do not have our in-game telemetry showing the damage there. And surprisingly, only 2 drivers are there on the mediums, and Aradhya gets Moto just down the exit of it, and I believe he has used DRS for that move. He has to use it actually. A great exit from Aradhya. He has already gone past Moto, and now Moto has got some work to keep that position for few laps.
Indeed, and Pre being one of the only console players that we have in this particular tier as well. Both of them starting on mediums, and we can see that, you know, a Ferrari and the Mercedes of Simply and SSJ going almost side by side there. And we, again, he's going for the move here, using a bit of ERS maybe, and he still stays right behind Simply, who has a very bad exit, but somehow just stays in front of SSJ for now. And again, all of these guys went with the hard compound of tires, so Moto losing the positions isn't that huge of a problem right now, because he will surely come back at them. And right now, SD versus Moto going on over here. They swap places for a slight second right there, and SD is on the charge. He wants to try and get into that podium position and maybe even get closer to Aradhya and Pre the Pro.
Yeah, definitely. As the battle continues, Moto has dropped out of DRS from Aradhya, and it'll be very challenging. And SD goes wide coming into turn 12, and that's going to help Moto out significantly. But SD is still on his tail, and SD has to worry about Helium, and needs to try to catch Moto ahead. And there's a full DRS train forming right now, as the 2 medium runners just run away from the back, slowly just gaining time, having much better lap times than the rest of the field.
Right, this is the time for the drivers to push and be in the DRS zone, because the DRS is enabled this lap, and Aradhya is definitely going to try to do that. If that's definitely going to help him by a lot, getting away from these hard stint drivers there. Clearly the heart's not working out right now, but definitely a safety car around lap 17 will help them to get a free pit stop. Basically time will tell, and we can see the DRS train being formed here, but definitely it's the exit that matters in the end of the DRS zone 1. We'll have to see who gets a better exit and who is ready to make that bold move with the spam of ERS.
Yeah, we can see that in the bottom right, we have 2 small dots streaking in front, and the rest of the pack is just so close together. So if you make a small step in the wrong direction, you're pretty much losing a lot of positions for sure, because we have two guys at the back, which is Astra and Extreme. Maybe with a bit of a collision here and there, they've lost out a lot of time. The rest of the pack, and right here we can see that people from P3 all the way down to around P12, P13 are just in that DRS train. So it's going to be hard for these guys to overtake, and it's going to be hard for Moto to keep every single person behind them.
Yeah, definitely. As the medium runners just continue to pull away, an early safety car, as you were saying, ABD, would only benefit two drivers, but a later safety car on lap 17 would really help out the hard runners a lot, and it would really damage the race of the Ferrari and the Haas. Yeah, so now we move on. We are on board SSJ as he tries to make a move on Simply YT, as he's right on his tail, going into the next turn 5 and turn 6. Pretty quick turns as they try not to break through this section. And will he go for a move coming down the next DRS straight and avoid locking up on turn 9 and turn 10 as we go on board Simply YT, as we go on board SSJ Assassin.
SSJ getting extremely close to Simply's rear end over there, and just about manages to not hit Simply, and he's instantly under pressure from Shawshank, who's the Tier 2 champion from last season. So he has been promoted to Tier 1 to see where he stands. And Ashray again having some issues with his internet and disconnecting. We have SSJ right here on screen. He has 54% ERS right now. He will be using that to try and just stick with Simply right now. He's pretty much gone from being the predator to becoming the prey, because Shawshank only 3/10 behind him. He has to use just a tiny bit of ERS over here and does get a pretty decent exit, but you can see that Shawshank is actually catching up quite a bit to SSJ over here. SSJ goes defensive and going around the outside. Does he make the move stick? He does. Going down the inside, actually, Shawshank makes the move stick, and what a wonderful move that is by Shawshank. So he's got himself up to P11 now, and he can focus on getting Simply YT in front of him. But SSJ is not the kind to give up, so I'm sure that he'll try and get back at Shawshank soon.
They have a yellow flag right now. It looks like a Ninja and Extreme had a moment there. It looked like both of them were tangled there. Even if the last lap Extreme had spun over, Ninja had spun at the same location. I'm not sure if we will know if they have damage right now or not, but it's the same place it happened twice.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Turn 1 is pretty tight for two cars to go side by side on, so it's no doubt that there would be some incidents over there. But as the gap between the two leaders increases from the rest of the pack up to 4 seconds, and the medium runners around here gets in the DRS of Be The Pro, maybe trying to challenge for the lead, and Logesh on the tail of Anirudh. Anirudh, a rookie this season, who's looking very promising, and let's see what Logesh can do here. And as we switch on to ST, will ST go for a move down into turn 1 on Moto? Will Moto goes defensive as they go round in turn 1, hopefully try not to collide. Helium getting involved in the mix as they go out. They have another opportunity coming into turn 4. Turn 4 being a great overtaking opportunity. Will ST send it down the inside? No, he chooses to back out of that. Wonderful racing from these three.
Yeah,
Really,
Helium almost
you can only
tried
see
to
this kind of
capitalize.
stuff happening in Tier 1, can't you?
Yeah, Helium almost took advantage of them fighting, but as he just saw that coming in, he just decided to hold his position for now, and he did not even spam his ERS, so it looked like, yeah, he's just gonna settle for now and probably aim for a better exit in the next lap. And yeah, like you said, Aradia is already in the DRS, so that's gonna be really good for him. The medium stint runners are getting Aradia being pulled away from him. It all comes down to the ERS. I mean, there is no ERS region, but comes how the drivers are going to manage it. How low can you go? How much can you use it? How much do you can afford to use the ERS here.
Indeed, Bahrain is a very hard track to get your ERS back up, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how much these guys are using, because right now Aradhya is only on 11% ERS, so he has been using a lot of it. And Pri, even though he has to defend from Aradhya, he has almost 60% ERS, and he can empty the tank and just check out if he wants to. So he's just controlling the pace right now, and Aradhya is on the charge to try and take that, first position off of him. And the other guys are having a proper tussle right behind Black Sheep over here, and Shawshank makes another move, and he still is going side by side with Simply over here and going around the outside. Beautiful camera angle right here, still going side by side. Simply is giving it all he can, but Shawshank does overtake Simply here and gets promoted to P10.
One driver that's not been having a good day today is Danish. After that great quali session, he's dropped quite far down the order. I'm not too sure on how that happened. Maybe an incident. But yeah, now we go into another DRS straight. If any overtakes can happen, Shawshank, who got past Simply recently, and we go on board Anirudh. Let's see if he can get a move done on Logesh anytime soon.
Okay, so we're still on board with Anirudh over here, and Ibdi, you were going to say something?
No.
Okay, so we are still on board Anirudh, and again, all of these guys are still stuck behind each other, and it's just unfortunate in a way for these guys because they can't really make a move because everyone is in that DRS train. So we can see the map as well that the top two on mediums are 5 seconds in front of Moto, SD and Helium, and that group has gone away from the other group that we are spectating right now, which is people from I think 6th all the way down to 10th or 12th. So everyone is just in the DRS train. They have to manage tires though, because Bahrain is a very tire hungry track, and there's a lot of tire degradation. So because there's no safety cars over here, it's going to be a proper battle for the strategy as well as the tire management and whatnot.
Aradhya has crashed out. It looks like he spun over there, and right now he's back, but he did lose a couple of positions there. He was almost gonna overtake Pri that lap. He was down to like 0.6 seconds different, but now he's somewhere between the two packs that we were talking about. Looks like he doesn't have any wing damage. His end plates are looking fine, so it was just a spin that happened to him. Just a yellow flag and no safety car or VSC, so we are good.
Disappointing news for the horse. Me and Swagger earlier discussed this, ABD, and we were wondering if Horse doesn't get unlucky in the race, but it looks like they have the same bad luck as they did in Tier 2. Isn't that right, Swagger?
Indeed, they had even Heisenberg had a pretty decent quali and then had to drop down. And Helium over here going for a move on the real SD and makes the move stick. He's right in front of him with the help of DRS and right behind Moto. So can he go for a 2 overtake in 1 lap? So he's pretty close to Moto, but I don't think even with the help of DRS over here, he will be able to overtake Moto because the gap was just too big for him at this occasion right here. So again, Moto also has a pretty decent amount of ERS, so does SSJ, and so does Helium. They have 56% ERS, so very good job done by these guys to just preserve that ERS and make moves later on. And SD with 72% ERS, 20% more than the guys in front. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens during the pit window phase and how many overtakes these guys are going to make, because SD just coming out of the slipstream, taking a look maybe down the inside, just telling Helium that he's still here. And yeah, we'll just have to see how the whole the next 20 laps or so goes through.
Yeah, and Pri the Pro needs to get some props for his amazing drive. He's 6 seconds ahead of second place right now, which is very well done from him and very well executed. Do you think we could get the position change up on screen right now, Deepa? And yeah, we can see people who really lost out. We can see Tarnish, as I mentioned earlier, he's dropped down 7 places. I'm not too sure what happened to him. But otherwise, Shawshank, who's had a brilliant place, he's gained 4 places recently. Like we just saw, he got SSJ and he placed. And speaking of Tarnish, he just got another overtake done on SSJ currently. And Helium has just gotten past Moto, and so is SD. What happened to Moto?
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
looks like
too
he
sure.
got a corner. He did get a 3-second time penalty there, but he did lose 2 positions there. So that's gonna cost him a lot more than 2 positions because he did get the 3-second time penalty as well. And we see Anirudh diving down the inside of Lokesh, gets the move done, pushes him wide off the track. Lokesh has to go wide and just manages to keep his car intact and in control as we go down again. Yeah, so he has done the move. And Anirudh keeps P7 for now.
That's a very interesting place to overtake from Anirudh, and it reminds me of Fernando Alonso from this Bahrain, overtaking at random spots, but that was very well executed by Anirudh as well, as now he seems to hunt down wanting that 6th place pretty badly from Akash, as he chases him down all the way. And let's see if he makes a move this lap or decides to play it safe.
Those
Indeed,
medians are not slowing down at all. We are already into the 10th lap, and the Pro is still able to gain the time on hard. And we see Real SD going for the move and has to back out because of the car positioning from Helium there. Well kept and well defended there, and now as he has a better exit on him, he just has to position his car well enough to get the move done as they are side by side into the end of the second DRS zone. That's the 4th turn, and Real SD gets this move done with the bare minimum ERS usage, I believe. That's a great move there.
Indeed, these guys are pretty good with conserving ERS, and yet again it's like getting a 6.5 second gap over these guys. Of course, these guys will come back at pre because they'll have the faster compound of tires, and we have a proper tussle going on in the background. SSJ, Tarnish and Shawshank going side by side. Shawshank actually losing quite a lot of positions, going wide, pushed wide by I think Tarnish over there. Just that kind of line doesn't really work out, so you have to go wide a little bit. And Tarnish gives the position back to Shawshank, and Kapil trying to go for a move on Tarnish now. So a lot of position swaps going on in the mid pack. And of course, we have points from all the way from 1st to 15th. So these guys are still fighting for that point. Banat is P15 right now, and all the way from P7 to P16, all of them are in this DRS train that you can see on screen. And Helium coming back at Real SD and overtakes him as well. So these guys are just going at it, swapping positions left, right and center. Of course, getting the help of DRS as well. And we can just see the Haas of Aradhya just catching them up slowly but surely.
What a beautiful overtake that was by Helium, on SD. And let's see if SD can get him back later on in the race. And we go on board. Shawshank trying to get him moved down on Tarnish. And Shawshank gets the head on turn for a beautiful place to overtake on this track, as a car behind him, as Kapil tries to get involved in the mix. As they go down, the battle's still going on, tries to switch around, and Shawshank gets the switcheroo properly, and he gets the lead. He's ahead. Oh, and Tarnish, he moves it. Tarnish with a bit of oversteer there, as they go down into turn 9 and 10, a heavy braking zone. As they get that right, and down on the DRS straight, Tarnish is going to have DRS as he tries to get back, and Tarnish goes wide.
Oh,
that's pretty sad news for the Aston Martin. Yeah, and we have a yellow flag in sector 2. Hopefully that's not a safety car, as he makes it out back in the race.
That looked really great racing from Shawshank there. He has already another 3rd overtake, I believe. But unfortunately for Tarnish there, they did go side by side for a long time, and Kapil was just on their back, waiting for a chance to, jump back. So even Tarnish had a pressure from behind as well as, so basically he had to attack and as well as defend there. We see Akash Lokesh happens. Is he in pits? Yeah. Okay. Okay. The game did not show the pit icon. That's strange. Anyway, so He caught Helium there. I think there was one more change
Yeah.
there, SSJ and Simply have switched there. And by the looks of the DRS from the mid pack, the DRS stream that is going on, we saw Couple with 10%, and that shows how eager these guys are, how desperate these guys are right now to make the move done, but still they are not able to, because almost everyone has the same speed over there. It's just a matter of getting a better exit from the guy ahead of you.
And it's looking like the Pro needs to pit soon because he's coming near that pit interval. It's on lap 13 currently, so I'm expecting him to pit soon. Swagger, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was saying that the margin for error is very, very less over here because we just saw that, if a small mistake and you lose a few positions, and that's what happened with Tanish over here, who did pit. So, of course, he will lose a few positions during the pits, but now it's up to him on those mediums to try and get back positions and get back, into the race as well. The times between these guys are super close, and Free from first position has come into the pits, and yeah, he's gonna go on those hard compound of tires.
Yeah, Helium will now inherit the lead of the race, and he has two people very eager to take that spot from him, Moto and ST right on his tail. Logesh is now chasing Akash right on his tail. Behind him is another battle
Simply
going
and
on.
Shawshank.
Shawshank gets ahead of Simply, and let's see if Shawshank can get SSJ anytime soon or Black Sheep, because we have a brilliant race going on through the midfield. Overtakes everywhere as we see Simply right on the tail, hoping to come back ahead of Shawshank, coming out into the next DRS train.
Okay, so on screen we can see that Moto is the only one with a penalty. So he has a 3-second penalty right now, and that's going to hinder him towards the end of this race because right now he's fighting for the podium, obviously, and he is P3, but we have to keep in mind that the Pro has already pit for Hearts, and he was around 6 seconds in front of all the hard runners. So with the 3-second penalty, can he get a podium for Red Bull? So that's going to be a huge question because P4 right behind him right now, who is Anirudh, is around 6.5 seconds behind. So can Moto keep a podium? It's going to take a miracle, but it's F1 after all. So we'll have to see what happens. And while I'm talking about that, Moto comes into the pits for a pretty early pit stop, and he's going to be going on to the mediums. That's a pretty long time to take the mediums till the end, but we'll have to see how that pans out for him.
Yeah, I'm wondering what strategy he's using right now. If he still has a 3-second time penalty, getting a podium would really be a miracle because he's got to deal with Free and Arodhya as well as the other two people he was battling earlier. As I think those would be the main contenders for him. As we see 8 Cilliams charging behind the Alfa Romeo, trying to get a move done pretty soon. He's right on his tail, trying not to crash into his back, as he wants to join that midfield battle with Simply and Shawshank and SSJ. He wants to be there. He wants to make some good points for Williams. Williams will be chasing that World Constructors Championship that they won last season as they go down the straight, coming into that corner, and he won't be able to do a move here, but he should be able to do a move coming into the first DRS straight as he tries to stay on his tail. Yeah, and he's coming through or down the straight, trying to catch that slip seam. Doppel gaining a gap. He's used up almost all of his ERS, and he's on 19% right now, but he's also going to have DRS in the car ahead. So, and we see Logesh pit along with Akash currently as they drop down the order, and they should be boxing for new mediums. As they come out, they should be coming out behind Moto and Babaji, I would guess, but we are still to see that. As the Pro, the current next leader of this race, is making his way through the traffic at the back of the pack, through these really quick drivers of Tier 1, which should be difficult for him. as Helium is still in the lead of the race.
By looks of it, it looked like Moto had two options. Just keep on the hards till a safety car comes and just basically wait for the safety car to come, or pit early, try for the undercut, have a clean air. And I believe he has gone for the aggressive move there. He wanted the clean air. He wanted to go fast because he knows he can do that. And he has got Baba on his way. Now he got some clean air, and let's see what he can do.
Yeah,
Talking about clean air, Tanish has the clearest of tracks right in front of him and sets the fastest lap of the track. It's like that's a very good decent lap by Tanish right there. So he's just going for the fastest lap right now because again, P20 right now with few issues here and there. Only a safety car can save his race as of now.
Yeah, definitely. As we approach the pit window of this race, and we are going to see a lot of hard runners pit. Helium going into the box, SD going into the box at the same time. I'm surprised he's not trying to overcut him at this point. Will they come out in front or behind Moto? Has Moto got the undercut done? Moto goes into turn 1. Is he going to get ahead of SD? Yes, he does. Very, very well done by Moto with those much. And SD crashes. This might give Moto a podium.
He might be disqualified if he doesn't move. Oh, this is from bad to worse for real. SC there, yeah, I can. Okay. We move on. Caught on cam, but okay. I guess he had no choice but to do that to save his car from that. But clearly the cold tires were not perfect for him at the moment, and Moto got the better of the undercut there. The undercut really worked out, even the clear air. But unfortunately, he was not able to get Helium, and he is right behind him right now.
Yeah, very, very disappointing for SD. He was looking at either getting a podium, getting P3 or P2, or maybe even a shot at P1 if he got past Helium. And they also he had to get past P the Pro as well. Sorry, my bad. And Moto is currently in net P3, but with that time-setting penalty, Erosia is 3.6 seconds behind him. So Moto is currently on the podium as he tries to get an overtake on Helium, and Moto spins. And I think he can say goodbye to those dreamers getting that podium now, as that spin has cost him a lot of time, and it's also going to damage his tires, which anyway have to go on for a much longer time. As we see SSJ leave the pits, will he be in front of Simply? Simply also pits at the same time. He will be right behind Logesh coming out of the pits, but will have cold tires. And let's see where SSJ ends up.
Yeah, and talking about a lot of spins, we had a few guys spinning out in quali, and we're seeing a lot of spins because of cold tires coming out of the pits as well. So Kapil going for a move, trying to go for a move on 8th still over here. And yeah, Moto spinning out, probably losing a chance on the podium. But again, we still have around 11 laps of racing, so anything can happen. It was super unfortunate, what happened to SD. He got beached as well, so sometimes the game automatically resets you on track. So yeah, not really sure what happened there. He was completely beached, so I don't think he will be getting a penalty for that, but that's up to the stewards, obviously. So looking at the time streets and how everything is going, Pre has a pretty decent gap, but Helium is slowly but surely cutting the time on him. So only 4.7 seconds between Pre, who's, let's just say he is on provisional first right now, but yeah, he's like net first. Helium setting a 1:31.0, so he is on a charge. He wants to get the first race win, and after the race, we'll have to see if the curse of the first race ever gets in our league as well, or is it just going to stay in real life?
Yes, definitely. Soshank and Anido staying out quite long on those hard tires. Maybe they're trying to get a shot at some overtake. ABD, you can continue. I kind of missed that.
Really well. Eitzel did really well to keep a hold of his car there. Had a bit of bonk from Simply, but he did really, really well to quickly catch his car. There's great reaction from him as he has just lost a position there with that contact. Couple gets the advantage of it. But that was very close. Can we have the tire data on to see which of the guys are, keeping on hopes for the safety car? Yeah, so we see Anirudh and Shashank really relying on that safety car, waiting for it to come. But I doubt if that's going to happen here in Bahrain. And we see Moto climbing back to P5 there. I believe he got Aradia there. And yeah, Anirudh finally decides to pit and Shashank decides to stay out.
And Tanish just getting, his weekend from bad to worse, spins, and I think gets another penalty for it. He gets a 3-second penalty over there, and we did see a slight glimpse of an Aston Martin on the right. So Aradhya Gupta now slowly catching up to Moto, who had overtaken him earlier. And yeah, Aradhya is in a pretty decent spot to actually get a podium, because once Shashank pits, it's going, they're just going to get one free position. And we'll have to see if Shashank is actually trying to extend these hard tires and just go for softs and completely, just go for hot laps. And while I'm talking about that, Anirudh and Akash Sonavane going side by side with each other into the S section. In the background, we have Aidsel getting a 3-second penalty, still going side by side, trying to do his best, Anirudh over here. And he's on the mediums as well. So both of them are on mediums and going on putting on a very good show right here. And SD setting a 1:31.0 and taking the fastest lap right now. And of course, SD is only in 19th, very unfortunate for him, but this fight for P5 or P6 should I say is getting heated up.
And a big spin from Shashank. Maybe staying out on those tires for that long is probably not a good idea for him. Maybe he's waiting for the safety car. We aren't too sure, but that spin has cost him dearly, and it must have also worn out his tires. So I'm gonna expect him to go to the pits right now, as he does go into the pits. I wonder where he'll come out. Will he be in front of SSJ and Simply, or behind them, as they come round the final chicane now? And I think they're very comfortably going to be ahead of Shashank, because he stayed out way too long on those hards, and he's going to fall down behind the Alfa Romeos as well, and maybe the Aston Martin.
Oh, he has gone for soft. Yeah. Okay. That is why he decided to keep on hold of those hards. I guess he can pull it off, but probably he's going to lose time in the last 2 laps for sure. But let's see what he can do with the soft, because we have already seen him overtake already 3 to 4 times. So yeah, I guess he loves overtaking people, and he's gonna keep doing it again. Speaking of which, we have 4 people with 3-second penalty, and Bahrain is not a kind of track to get time penalties here to the track limit, because of the wide track that it is. That just shows how tough and how competitive, how hard these guys are really pushing the limit.
Indeed, and while you're talking about that, Aradhya getting a 3-second penalty. So Moto over here actually in a very good position to get a P3 and get a podium. So a roller coaster ride for Moto, but that definitely will, soothe his pain a little bit, because he has a very quick Aradhya Gupta right behind him, but he's on mediums and he has the best chance of getting that podium now. And yeah, we're just looking at while ABD was talking about penalties, the timing was perfect. As soon as he finished it, Aradhya gets a penalty here. So could it be Commentator's cause? Who knows? But yeah, going for a move around the outside of Simply and going down the inside now doesn't really work out for Kapil. So he does stay behind and wants to just try and keep that car in the right position, simply going defensive instantly, and doesn't really have to go for that. But again, they're going just poking the nose in just slight bit, and Kapil is trying his best to get more points for the Alfa Romeo. And again, Alfa Romeos, both of them 10th and 11th, pretty decent. They are, I think, the closest as a team in the points, because we even have the McLarens of Anirudh and Simply getting a pretty decent haul of points. Right now, 3-second gap to Helium, around I'd say 5 or 6 laps left till the end of this race, and he's doing a pretty decent job of just keeping the times proper, and he's keeping Helium at bay as of now, because obviously we saw that the gap between them was around 6 seconds before pre-pit. And yeah, coming out on those hards, Helium, Moto are on the mediums and doing a pretty decent job right now.
Yeah, it was and it looked like he hit reset to track because of it. I just saw that in the track map, but see that about it later. Just good that there's no safety car out right now. Yeah, just because of that incident. And Kapil gets Simply there, bit of chickle there from Simply, but yeah, clean move from Kapil there, and he's gonna spam some ERS to keep in hold of that position, just to ensure that Simply doesn't take that position back with the advantage of DRS there.
Yeah, and we have a close battle between Ninja Zero and Oshtray going on, and Ninja Zero gets the overtake on Oshtray currently. Well done into turn 1 from him. They go down. Will Oshtray try to get right back past him? And we've got, oh no, but Ninja Zero has the DRS, but Oshtray's still gonna go for it using his battery. As he goes outside, he cuts the track a bit. Will he get back on it? He needs to get that power down immediately as he brakes, and he's right on him. He's trying to get that pace back into the next DRS state as they head towards turn 9 and 10. A very hard braking zone, trying to avoid hitting rear-ending the other car in this turn as they go down. Extreme at the back, looking to pick up the pieces at the end of this battle. As Oshtray gets on the ERS, he pushes down. Is he going to get that move done? Is he going to go to the inside? And he doesn't get the overtake done, but would hope to get the overtake done later on in the race.
Yeah, and we are into the lap 24, and we can see Helium cutting down the gap that they had, and it looks like that they might be very close or within the DRS zone by probably in the last lap or in the 20th lap. But it's going to be very interesting to see, because yeah, it's definitely sure that Helium is catching him, whereas Moto is dropping off to Helium, probably in defending Arathia, who is right behind him.
Helium definitely wants to go for the win over here, and he does have the better tires for this part, because again, you are on the mediums. The cars are way lighter than what these guys had to deal with, like Pri and Aradhya. So Aradhya is still only 3/10 behind Moto, but Moto doing a pretty decent job of keeping Aradhya at bay. And as you were talking about, the gap between Pri and Helium, it is cutting down quite a lot. But if, let's say, he catches up by 28 or lap 29, it's still going to be a pretty hard task for Helium to overtake Pri the Pro. So, real quick, Deepak, can we just look at the ERS, amount of ERS that Helium and Pri have? And then we can quickly cut back to Akash and Logan as well. So 35% for Pri, and Helium has only 9%. So Helium just pushing on as much as possible. And yeah, we get back to Akash and Logesh over here going down the inside, I'd say. Akash, or maybe he was defending. Not really sure what about that. But yeah, a pretty decent showing from every single one over here. We didn't really have a safety car yet, and we've had around 3 safety cars in Tier 2 and Tier 3 combined. So pretty good showing by the Tier 1 boys, and Tanish getting a 3-second penalty yet again. And yeah, that's pretty much a nail in the coffin for his race right now.
Yeah, definitely. As I think Moto and Aradhya both just battled for P3. I don't think they're expecting a position higher than that currently. Moto on fresher mediums, while Aradhya's on older hards, but the longer the hards go, the better they are as he tries to get. And we see SSJ goes for a move down into turn 11, sorry, and he gets the move done on Logesh. SSJ having a brilliant race so far, being one of the people who pitted earlier, and that has really benefited him in getting those good undercut, the times in those good undercuts as he goes down. And I don't think Logesh is going to challenge this, as SSJ has got good pace currently coming out of that as he's going to go into the start straight. And SSJ being in the DRS of our car shouldn't be worrying too much about Logesh gaining on him right now.
Indeed, and yeah, a lot of people just have pretty low on ERS at this particular time. And yeah, SSJ has overtaken Logesh, and while I'm talking about that, SSJ has a half spin, controls the car, and yeah, he has to try and get back to the back of Logesh and Akash, because obviously they were having a battle already. SSJ was like, hi, what's up? And yeah, a very weird snap of oversteer over there and almost losing the car. Did a wonderful job of catching the car though, and yeah, he's P8 right now, 1.5 seconds behind Logesh. Can he catch back up? And he was eyeing a move on Akash and now finds himself in P8. We have Shawshank, who made a lot of moves in the early stages of this race, and we can still see that his teammate, which is Aradhya, pretty close to Moto here, and Moto is super low on ERS, and Aradhya can definitely sense that with the red light flashing, and so is he. He needs a very decent exit out of one of these turns and onto the DRS straight. The only way he's gonna overtake Moto here is with a better exit, maybe a Moto error, which is going to be hard. And yeah, ERS is pretty much done for both of them.
As he tries to go for an overtake, Moto goes defensive into turn 1, and Aradhya breaks well, gonna try to get that move done by turn 4. As he goes on his tail, he hits the ERS, he slams on the accelerator, and he's going right on his tail, catching that slipstream. Hopefully trying to get a move done. He drops down to 0% ERS, but he's too far back to make a move on Moto right now. Both of them flashing right now, not having much DRS, as Moto just wants to keep this position till the end of the race. So he's in the podium, and whichever one of them we're interviewing in the podium, we're definitely going to ask them about this battle on tweet.
Talk about a battle, we have Simply versus Couple going on yet again. We saw Couple overtaking Simply, and they're going side by side yet again and still not given up. Couple down the inside, Simply around the outside, and still going side by side. There is some fantastic racing between the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo, and Simply does get the better exit and overtakes Couple for a brief moment. But Couple does get the DRS off of Simply, and he'll have a very good chance of getting back and maybe even overtaking Simply over here. And yeah, what are your thoughts of this race so far, ABD?
Well, it's going good, but as we have seen, Aradhya and Moto on, 0%, sector 2, I think it's Real SD who has crashed again. So that is actually thing. As we have seen Moto and Aradhya with 5% ERS, and that is what the problem is, I believe. Aradhya is just being too eager. He's just using his ERS every time he gets in the DRS zone. I believe he has to he has to store something to be able to use it all in one go and make the move done. Just spamming 5% ERS is not going to do anything. And speaking of which, Simply drives down the inside of Kapil and just leaves him some enough space. And yeah, thank God there was no contact. Otherwise, Kapil would have been yeeted into the walls, and the DRS giving an advantage to Kapil, but Simply keeps the move, goes bit wide, and Kapil sees it, and he's going to take advantage of that. Goes down the inside, and Kapil makes the move done. And that's Tanish. Okay, Tanish spun, but I hope he has not given some advantage to Pri there. I don't know with the DRS. So anyways, Tanish has been lapped by Pri and Helium as of now. And a great battle from Aradhya. He had a really good pace there, but just not car positioning from Moto was just good to keep him behind him. And we are in the final lap of this Bahrain Grand Prix here, and the 3% of ERS, I do not see Aradhya overtaking Moto as of now.
But he's gonna give it a shot. But will he goes ahead, this is going to be a high-key battle going into the first one to avoid colliding into Moto. Moto pushes off Aradhya as they go down into turn 4. One of the best overtaking opportunities. Could Aradhya get that? As we see SSJ shuffling around with low gauge, trying to get that position back as well. Going all the way down into turn 4. Can they get this? Who's going to come out for the battle for 6th place between all 3 cars? SSJ almost sending it, but just a bit too far back. Will he get the move done in the next DRS stage? Because this is the last lap of the day. This is the final opportunities these guys have to get another position. And Simply YT trying to get back a couple just overtook him. Could we please switch on to the battle between Aradhya and Moto? Yes, we do. As Aradhya, this is his final opportunity, the final DRS straight. Is he going to send it? No, he is too far back. And Moto going to come out ahead in this battle. Can we switch to Pre the Pro? As Pre the Pro winds the final corner of this race and comes home to take the Bahrain Grand Prix. Brilliant drive, a dominant drive from him, starting at P2. Pre the Pro is the winner of the Bahrain Grand Prix. A good P2 from Helium and a good P3 coming in from the Red Bull driver of Moto. Amazing race, an amazing race raced. And with is Anirudh in that 3-second gap. Oh, Anirudh taking the last spot of the podium. What a surprise. I think nobody was expecting that. We were too focused on Aradhya and Moto. We did not focus on Anirudh. And SSJ slowing down. But he manages to finish before Couple as everybody comes around the final corners to finish the race. Disappointing race for SD and Tarnish because they got very unlucky there. But I hope the old Drivers' Championship is going to Drivers' Champion will come back in the next race as all the drivers finish this race. Beautiful racing. We've seen Pre the Pro had a brilliant drive and deserved that victory. What do you guys say?
Bars are set pretty high right now because Free did an amazing job of just defending and keeping that lead from I think lap 3. He just overtook the other. I overtook Moto and I think it was Helium and just kept the car there. He was in front of Aradhya as well with under a lot of pressure and a very decent job by him. Helium up to P2 and Anirudh a sharp P3. No one actually even gave. No one even thought about that, and Anirudh out of nowhere just comes and gets the podium. So it's going to be a pretty fun podium interview as well, because who would have thought that Anirudh will have a chance at podium over here? And again, amazing job by all the drivers over here. Few got unlucky, few put on a very good show for all of us to just watch. And yeah, overall a very fun event. What are your thoughts about it, David?
Well, it was a good show from Pre the Pro and even Helium, who showed the pace that he had. He was definitely catching up, but I believe that Tanish kind of gave a DRS, and that is where the gap was, a bit uniform for 2 laps there. But anyways, it was a great stuff, great consistency from Pre the Pro, Helium, and even Anirudh there, who surprisingly caught Moto and Aradhya there.
Yeah, as we go through the final standings of the race and multiple track limits warnings throughout this race, and amazing race from Pre the Pro, followed by Helium, then Anirudh, then Moto missing out on that podium. Then we have Akash, Logesh, and SSJ, who had that brilliant battle in the middle place. Couple and Simply, who were going at it at the last lap. And then we have Banat followed by Shoshank, Black Sheep, and Eitzel. As now we plan to go on for the podium interviews shortly as we wait for all the drivers to join the VC. Can we switch to the podium interviews? Yes, thank you. So Anirudh, welcome to the Combox. Brilliant drive from you. An unexpected 3rd place. People were focused on Moto and Aradhya on getting 3rd place, but you just managed to get that gap in, reduce the distance. What are your thoughts about this podium you've managed to secure?
First of all, I genuinely thought that I was not fighting for pole. I thought I was fighting for P5. Then I noticed Moto and Aradhya are fighting together, like they're fighting a lot. So I decided to go very long on the hards so I get fresher mediums at the end. So it really worked well, and I also saved a lot of ERS. I literally used all of my ERS in the final two laps. I had like 70% of them. So my strategy worked, and yeah, I'm definitely really happy with my P3, and hopefully I get more podiums after these
Yeah.
races.
What was going through your mind being a rookie in those last few laps and seeing the opportunity of a podium? Like, how nervous were you going into that?
It was not. I didn't feel nervous. I felt sort of like joy knowing that I'm gonna get podium. So if I felt nervous, I would literally fumble, like almost spin here and there. So I was trying to keep my mind focused, and I was actually sweating a little bit because I had to push so much there. So it really worked.
Yeah, I love to see that confidence. Great drive from you, Anirudh. And now we
Thank
have
you.
Helium as well in the comms box. P2, a brilliant drive. What are you feeling, Helium?
First of all, congrats to Pre. Come on, man. इतना भी quick नहीं होते. It's too hard. First of all. Secondly, I mean, it was pretty much like a lone drive after like first stint shenanigans. I mean, I wish Moto and SD weren't fighting that much. I think I lost around 2 to 3 seconds because of that fighting to Pre. After that, I tried to push as much as I could, but yeah, I don't think I could have caught up to Pre in any other scenario.
Yeah, we saw you gaining time to Pre at the end, and you had that glimpse, that opportunity to win, but your ERS was just running too low. So, are you disappointed in yourself, or do you feel like you did the best you could at that point?
Nah, I don't get disappointed in this stuff, but yeah, I mean, situations could have been better, so I could have been like fighting Pre at the end. But yeah, beating him is going to be a difficult task, so it's going to be fun over the season. Looking forward to it.
All right, congratulations, Helium, on getting
Thank
that
you.
P2. And now we move on to the race winner, Pre the Pro. How do you feel
Yeah.
right now, man?
Oh, it was what a race. I mean, just like the first stint was, being on the mediums. I was just trying to pull away as much as I could from the hard runners. But then the second stint, I knew I'd be at a pace disadvantage because the gap between the mediums and the hards is so much. And it was so difficult pushing every lap. Like my hands are hurting so much. And yeah, I don't know. It's a good feeling, the win.
Yeah, definitely. Being the winner of this race, were you scared in the end when you saw that time decreasing between you and Helium? Or were you confident that, oh, I've got this win easily?
No. I knew I had a straight line advantage compared to Helium. So I knew if he got in my DRS, I had the ERS to be able to maintain the gap unless I made some silly mistake. So I wasn't nervous that way. But then in the last couple laps, I saw that the gap between Helium and me was like constant. So I started to relax a little, and yeah, just take it a little safer for the last couple laps. So.
Yeah, bro, that's great to hear. Congratulations on your win, and you did deserve it, and you should celebrate it. I'm going to pass it on to anybody else in the comms box who has any questions for the top three.
Yeah, I just want to say that finally we can see a Ferrari on the podium as well as coming first. Hopefully this doesn't just end up being a curse. And yeah, Pri, although congrats for P1. And yeah, overall a very good race. We saw that you're just managing the pace pretty well. These guys were obviously trying to get back at you, and even the first stint where Aradhya was right behind, you were able to just keep him at bay. So what was going through your head during that time?
Honestly, I was kind of debating the first stint whether I should let Aradhya be in the DRS or not. In the end, I thought why not, because like it'll just help me for the second stint when like the medium runners catch up to us, so they'll have one more car to go through before they get to me. So, but then Aradhya ended up spinning, which I wasn't very happy with because I wanted a good battle with them as well as So yeah.
And yet again, Helium and Anirudh, congrats on the podium as well. A very good job done by you guys as well. And ABD, would you like to wrap things up?
Yeah, well, great consistency, great setup, great stability on that setup as well. Really fun to watch you guys just keep this consistency up, and we hope to see this on the future races as well. Thank you all for tuning in our IRC stream. And just to let you know that we're going to have our next race in Australia track that will be on the next upcoming Sunday. That is the next week's, Saturday. Saturday, 8 p.m. Don't forget to tune into our YouTube channel and to join us if you are interested to take part in our league racing. Just visit our website and join our Discord. Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye.